all the people that do their
It's gonna be a long week. That's all I can say.
Cancer cut out of the tongue.
Love her.
Everybody say.
We spend most of our time worrying about something in the future. It's something that I find myself doing a lot with dental school. It's this new environment with these new experiences, and I really don't know what to expect, ever. I think that's why I appreciate my routine so much. It's predictable. I've done it a million times. I can put my brain on autopilot, and to be honest with you, it's safe. Hospital block was one of those uncertain events for me. At some point in your third year of dental school, you have to spend a week at the hospital across from the dental school. This means no scheduling patients, no sitting in for classes, and a complete disruption of the usual routine.
Work out in the morning.
Uh-huh.
How you get up so early? All the people do the reverse. They do
Hey, what are you expecting? What have you guys heard? What are the rumors been about?
You know, all I know is, you know what? I can't say that too loud. They're going to say the other word.
What do you
know?
know?
We're just gonna do what we're told. When they tell us to jump, we say how high. And you know what? It is what it is, bro.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, bro.
It's gonna be a long week. That's all I can say.
The common theme surrounding this week is fear. The reason for that being all the stories people come back with about being mistreated by the surgeons and residents. There is one comforting thing about this time, though. You're accompanied by 3 other dental students, and they're facing the same thing.
Either one of you guys want to go to the OR? Well, one of you has to go, so which one is the better question?
Rock, paper, scissors. That's what I do.
We can do it.
You guys are actually doing it.
When we get down there, I'll make sure I let them know you guys are competing for the bottle.
For me, fear wasn't the emotion I felt going into the week. I was annoyed with the disturbance. Dental school moves fast, and before you know it, you're in your third year treating patients, your own patients. You have requirements you have to meet to graduate, and these requirements come in the form of something you have no control over. Real-life humans with different needs and their own lives with schedules that might not align with yours. Yeah, I was in the OR for the last 4 hours, and it was cool. Got to see some really interesting stuff. Like, I got to see a cancer cut out of a tongue, which was really cool. When you're in there, you're just like holding your hands above your torso in order to stay in the sterile region. So when I finally got a solid group of patients I adored and who had dental needs that fulfilled my requirements, the last thing I wanted to do was break my rhythm and leave my patients. And I feel guilty saying this, but the point's for my requirements too. Over there? Serrano, come on.
So this is Bonza's cootie catcher that I'm making for him. He didn't bring lunch today, so we're like, yeah, food edition. We'll determine what Bonza will eat for lunch today.
And
these are the options, okay? So there's cafe, Subway, halal cart, Lexington Market, nothing. 2 Celsiuses, which he says were trash when he tried them yesterday.
What was supposed to be this intimidating, long week actually turned out to be what felt like a week-long sleepover. That might sound silly, but that's what it felt like. Dumb games, making fun of each other, and just hanging around with no real agenda.
Room 3,
6.
ready.
Is it none?
So we have 3, 6, 7, and 2.
If there's 4 of us here, and there's 2, 3, 6, and I chose 6 the first time, I'm gonna go 6 minus 4. 2 is 2.
What the fuck type of algebra is that?
2
He
is
said none.
halal cart.
Prior to this week, I was friends with Brianna, Serrano, and Brian, but we didn't really know each other.
It's like somebody's like studying and they get.
I had no idea that Brian was adopted and that he was raised by 2 amazing mothers. I'd seen hints of Brian being himself unapologetically, but I finally got to see it with no breaks. Zero concern with how others perceive him, and 100% committed to being himself every step of the way. A skill I like at times, and a lesson that I'll be taking with me far beyond the walls of Hospital Block.
There's something about a Subway cookie
Speaking, I had no idea that Serrano could speak so. Okay, yeah, I knew how much he could talk. But I had no idea that he was out of school for a week during our second year of dental school because he had an infection from a wisdom tooth extraction that nearly shut his left eye. And if that wasn't dramatic enough already, I got to hear about it in the most animated, Serrano-like fashion. Serrano's accent is a dead giveaway that he's Jamaican, but it wasn't until Hospital Block that I got to hear about his journey to dental school and about all the hurdles he overcame to get here.
Forget.
2013.
Oh, okay.
So I just did 1 year, grade 12, and then he literally was shouting me out saying he doubted himself. He came in because he had to do 4 regions, and then he did it. He wasn't complaining. He did what he had to do, and look where he is right here with all of you guys. So in that aspect,
Serrano.
I was like, I'm honored, Brian, for being on your thoughts for this big speech.
Anything from my Jamaican brother.
You're good.
And lastly, Bree, the glue that kept the group together. The week started off with her printing all the forms we were supposed to bring to Hospital Block, but forgot to. I've always known Bree to be hardworking and extremely punctual when it came to school, but what I didn't know is that she commutes to school from her hometown. Like many children of immigrants, we often feel an obligation to stay close to home because our parents left theirs to make a better one for us. We touched on these topics, and though it was brief, I got to see Bree in a light that I hadn't before. The little things, too. I learned that she has a boyfriend and that she loves boba, not to mention how funny she is.
Oh, he became a spoken.
Yes, so he switched to the other side.
I'm freestyling this, so it's just going to be what it is. But look, see, here's the thing. If there's any singular thing that we can learn from Hospital Block, that Hospital Block proves we are capable of anything. I mean, we all came in with our preconceptions about Hospital Block. We came in like, these guys are going to be assholes, blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't speak to others, they're all right.
Yeah.
Either way, the point remains. We're here. We're still breathing. Our hearts are still beating.
Okay.
Everything is fine. And this reminds me of some advice that I got from
Don't cry.
a very dear
Don't cry,
friend of
man.
mine. I remember he told me, he said, "Boss, man, I know that you doubt yourself. I know that you're doubting yourself all the time."
I have to be honest with you, though. The week we had at the hospital wasn't typical. It was interview season, so applicants were in town to interview at the oromaxillofacial program, which meant less surgery scheduled for us to scrub into. This is something I would have never considered leading up to this week, because we only considered the worst possible things. Nor did I think I would leave this week with 3 deep in friendships that would continue to blossom outside the 4 walls of the hospital. Initially, I captured the clips from this week with the intentions of making an animated vlog. Although this is anything but that, I'm super grateful that I captured these moments, these interactions. With me creating content for the first time, I sometimes feel the pressure to create or curate special moments. But in reality, it's the ordinary, mundane moments that are special.